Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank you, Vittoria. So I have more than a trio. We have another young lady who's joined us. Everybody knows George Marcello. You've been on the show many, many times talking about your wonderful cause, organ and tissue donation awareness. And I'm very thrilled to have with me a young man. His name is Kristopher Knowles. And Kristopher met George Marcello when George was walking across Canada in Kristopher's hometown of Sarnia, Ontario. It's about 3 hours away from Toronto. Kristopher suffers from liver disease, and he has been on the organ transplant waiting list for his entire life. At age of 6 months, Kristopher's family was told that Kristopher would require a liver transplant. This is Kristopher. Hi, Kristopher.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. So the obvious question that I asked George and I asked you before the interview is, when your parents met George, they didn't run away thinking he was a crazy maniac for walking across Canada for his cause, a good cause, but it was a heck of a trek. And you said, no, your parents thought George was terrific, walking for a cause that is obviously of your life's importance. And you expressed what to George at that time?
I was looking forward to doing it with him because he inspired me to do it, because he had a liver transplant and he was like the same as me. So
Kristopher, you're on the waiting list, and you've just won the 800 and 1500 meter races at your school.
Yeah.
So you're a fast runner.
Yep.
Walking is just not a problem for you.
Nope.
You're going to hit 350 cities across Canada?
Yep.
That should be one of our questions, you know, to know that there are at least 350 cities in Canada, and Chris will be walking in each one of them. George, how do you feel about Chris?
Well, you know, along the way, Danina, I met a lot of people that were on the waiting list and donor families, and, you know, I got left with a lot of memories. But when I met Chris, he stood out. The courage and the determination and the spirit that this young teenager has is just incredible. And I think as soon as I met him, I knew he was going to get his way. He wanted to walk across Canada, and I knew he was going to get his way. So when he asked me to be his road manager, I agreed. You know, but you know, this is going to be a little different because we have to take a few more safety precautions along the way. So we're going to have a registered nurse on board this time, and a tutor to make sure he's not missing any classes, which is important to education. And, you know, we'll be all set to go.
Well, it's funny, George, because when you introduced us to Kristopher, and Kristopher was there to welcome you when you, on your final homecoming from your walk across Canada, we all said, well, what do you mean? Because how many times did I talk to you on your cell phone as you were trekking across the Trans-Canada Highway through, like, Saskatchewan in the dead of winter? And you said you can't avoid winter in Canada, so you're taking all the precautions for Kristopher. We saw you with the Pope, the Prime Minister, all sorts of wonderful things ahead of you, Kristopher. And so many people admire your strength, your courage. You've got the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. I wish you well. We all wish you well, and there are all sorts of ways to support your journey. It's called The Next Step. George's walk was called Step by Step, and this is The Next Step, Kristophers Wish, trekking across Canada for organ and tissue donations. January 8th through to the next, December 25th, Christmas Day is when you end it. You're kicking off Sarnia, going to Victoria, and then you're doing St. John's, Newfoundland, back to Sarnia. So lots of ways to help. Is there a phone number that we can ask people to call if they'd like to know how they can help?
Yes, presently they can reach me at 416-540-7872 or visit our website at www.stepbystep.ca or email me at gmarcello@rogers.com. And before we sign off, Chris has something to say that he's been practicing all morning with.
Taborio, Tivorio, Bene, Asai, Asai.
Oh, thank you, Kristopher. That's really sweet. Yeah, you're bringing tears to my eyes. Kristopher, you have surgery on Tuesday?
Yeah.
You're incredible. Kristopher Knowles, we're very proud to have you here. And George, your family's behind you. Is this your
Yes,
niece
this
next
is my
to you?
niece, Alessia Guecki. She's going to be a famous singer one day.
Well, thank you very much. You'll keep us posted, George?
Yes.
Good luck, Kristopher, with your surgery on Tuesday. You're a brave kid, and you have a wonderful family, Victoria and Andrea.
Thank you.
Hi, we're back. You know what? That was a wonderful interview, Janina, and to all of them, we wish them the very best, because I hear he's going for surgery soon, so good luck with him in his surgery.
Volevo dire una cosa, il bello della diretta, noi eravamo in onda e poi non eravamo in onda, cioè questa è la vita, è bello perché dimostriamo al mondo che anche noi siamo umani.
And it really makes, when you know, it's unfortunate that it's at times like this when we realize that, but you realize how, like you said, how important life is and how little things are so not important, and yet we focus on materialistic things, but meanwhile, you know, just being alive and breathing and smiling and being with friends is the most important
la cosa più bella.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Allora